We are back now with our series, Discover Black Heritage, and a trailblazer in the civil rights movement. In November 1960, Ruby Bridges became the first black student to integrate her all-white New Orleans public elementary school.
Ruby was only 6 years old and a first grader when she took on that great responsibility.
Now, more than 6 decades later, the activist and author has a brand new children's book about that moment in time. It's called Ruby Bridges, A Talk with My Teacher. And lucky for us, Ruby is here this morning. So nice to have you. The book is beautiful. It's a terrific story. Your story, of course, has been told in children's books before, but now you get to be in the driver's seat.
Yes.
And this is really a love letter to teachers.
It is. I would not have gotten through that if it had not been for my teacher. And as you know, teachers really quit their jobs back then because they didn't want to teach black kids. And this one teacher came from Boston to teach me. She was amazing. Her name was Barbara Henry. And that's what the book is, it's about.
And we learned that you were so upset when you found out that Barbara Henry, after being your first grade teacher, wouldn't be your second grade teacher. How did that make you feel?
I often say that second grade was much worse for me than first.
Really?
Because she was my best friend. I didn't have any friends. And I had gotten so close to her. And I was so excited about going back for second grade, telling her what my summer was like, happy to see her again. And she was gone.
And now you all still maintain a relationship, which I was so happy to hear.
Still alive. She still lives in Boston. And yes, she's like another mom to me.
Wow. When we see that image of you in front of the Williams Franz School, you're 6 years old and there's all this tumult going on. How were you able to keep doing that? We see the pictures, but what was happening when we didn't see you as far as the pictures, the day-to-day for you?
She filled my day with things to do. She made school fun. I enjoyed learning. Even though the crowd was outside and screaming and yelling, she would go to the window and close the window. And she said, "Oh, we're going to have music today," just to drown out everything. We often say, both of us, she and I, that despite all of the hate that was going on outside, inside that room, it was filled with love.
One of the things you talk about, there's a story about you going to school and hiding your lunch.
Yes, I did.
How come?
Well, I wasn't able to go to recess, couldn't go to the cafeteria. I had to have my lunch at my desk. And like any 6-year-old, you want friends. And I remembered what kindergarten was like, that all of the kids met in the cafeteria. So I thought, well, I'm never going to make friends if I don't get to the cafeteria. And that prompted me to hide my sandwiches until the mice got really bad. And she found the sandwiches, and I was in a world of trouble. But yes, that's a true story.
But it was part of also how she was looking out for you, too. And
absolutely.
That, teachers, it's not just about the learning. It's also about the emotional piece of it that she really saw she needed to step up.
Yes, and I think that each and every one of us, we probably remember one teacher that made an impact, in our lives. And she was the one for me.
Yeah. Your story, it's 1960, and so many people remember that iconic image in the Norman Rockwell painting, of course, as well. What do you think it is, even all these decades later, about your story, of all the stories in the civil rights movement, that has still struck such a chord?
It's that one lone child, that innocence that we all see when we see that painting. How could that have happened to a 6-year-old? Innocence. And I think that affects each and every one of us when we see it.
Still to this day? Still
to this very day. And for kids, I think that they resonate with it. Every kid remembers someone not wanting to play with them, not giving them a chance. And I think that resonates with them, the story. So I wanted to write that story because constantly I would get the question, what happened in second grade? So that's basically what the book is about.
Well, it's a beautiful read. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ruby Bridges, thank you so much. Again, the book is called Ruby Bridges, A Talk with My Teacher.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.